supérieur.
Advancing science, technology, engineering, and mathematics is a core priority in national development plans. We heard that this morning with the presentation from Senegal. The importance of ICT both as a subject and integrating ICT in the learning process is also well recognized. These priorities are emphasized in Agenda 2063, which calls for a revolution in education and skills development and the promotion of science, technology, research, and innovation, and recognizes that human capital is Africa's most precious resource. And it's also elaborated in the Continental Education Strategy 1625 under Strategic Objective 9 that calls for improvements in 4 areas: access, quality, relevance, and equity, and addresses critical issues such as absorptive capacity, infrastructure, links with industry, research, knowledge production, and integration. So, again, this isn't an audience that needs to be convinced of the importance of this topic. A more relevant question for this discussion is, what is working to advance STEM and higher education in Africa? What are the bright spots? What are the most promising ideas and opportunities that are available to us? And what more needs to be done? We have a number of distinguished keynote speakers and panelists that will be joining us today for this discussion. I would now like to introduce them and call them to the stage. I would first like to call our keynote speaker, Professor Aminata Diallo, Advisor on Cooperation and Research, Ministry of Higher Education and Research, Senegal. Thank you. Thank you, Professor Diallo. Now I would like to invite our panelists. Mr. Etienne Ehile, Secretary General, Association of African Universities, which is also the host of the ADEA Working Group on Higher Education. Mr. Hilaire Hunkpetotel, Coordinator of PASIC. Professor Harry Kane, Executive Director of 4UP Industrial Services and former Education Secretary, Kenya. Ms. Alice Ochanda, Program Specialist, Gender and Science, UNESCO. And Ms. Mary Hooker, Senior Education Specialist, Jessie. Unfortunately, Mr. Norberto Carrascal, Director at Intel, was unable to join us for this panel given the change of timing to the afternoon session. And I understand Mr. Owane, one of our keynote speakers, will be speaking at the final session today. So just to give you a sense of how we wanted to structure the session, our keynote speaker, Professor Diallo, will present for approximately 10 minutes. And we will then follow this by a discussion with our panelists. I have to thank our panelists for kindly agreeing to put away their presentations and join us for a discussion and response to questions versus their presentations. But I do want to assure them that the presentations, there is provision to upload those to the ADEA triennial site. And so I'm sure I've seen them. Many of the participants will be very interested in the content. Once we finish some of the discussion, we have a video that we would like to show you entitled Unlocking the Potential of Girls in STEM. And time permitting, although we are in a time crunch, we will take some questions from the audience. So, Professor Diallo, could I ask you to please come?
Bonsoir à tous. Chers invités, distingués participants, je suis heureuse d'être ici aujourd'hui pour parler des défis et des opportunités que représente le développement des sciences et de la technologie en Afrique. Éliminer la faim et assurer la sécurité alimentaire mondiale permettre à tous de vivre en bonne santé, garantir l'accès à l'eau et à l'assainissement, conserver et exploiter de manière durable les écosystèmes aquatiques. Ces quelques extraits de la liste de 17 objectifs du développement durable, donc des ODD, adoptés en septembre 2015 par l'Assemblée générale des Nations unies, montrent l'ambition de ce programme universel. La bonne volonté ne suffira pas, il faut le dire d'emblée. Il faudra un solide socle pour les atteindre. Ce socle, ce sont les STEM, acronymes de Science, Technology, Engineering and Mathematics. C'est pourquoi les STEM sont devenus un enjeu économique, un défi éducationnel universel. Au plan économique, la politique des sciences, technologies et innovation est un élément clé de la croissance et du développement durable de tout pays. Les investissements dans les STI, donc les sciences, les technologies et l'innovation, et leur intégration dans l'éducation, les politiques économiques, industrielles, sont à même de créer des emplois, d'accroître la productivité et la compétitivité des pays sur le marché mondial, comme le révèlent de nombreux rapports. À titre d'exemple, aux États-Unis, le champ du cloud computing à lui seul a créé entre 2011 et 2015 1,7 million d'emplois. D'ici 2018, les projections estiment le besoin de travailleurs dans les emplois liés au STEM à 8,5 millions. Le secteur manufacturier fait face à une pénurie alarmante de personnel possédant les compétences nécessaires, près de 600 000, selon le rapport. Le Bureau des statistiques du travail des États-Unis prévoit qu'en 2018, la majeure partie des carrières seront liées au STEM, 71% pour l'informatique, 16% pour l'ingénierie traditionnelle, 7% pour les sciences physiques, 4% pour les sciences de la vie et 2% pour les mathématiques. D'ici 15 ans, la moitié des emplois, 47% pour les États-Unis selon le MIT, 54% en Europe selon le think tank Bruegel, exigeront des compétences technologiques, sinon ils disparaîtront ou à minima seront profondément transformés. Il ne s'agit pas d'un problème spécifique aux États-Unis. Au Royaume-Uni, la Royal Academy of Engineering rapporte que les Britanniques devront obtenir 100 000 diplômés en STEM chaque année, jusqu'en 2020, pour répondre à la demande. Sur le même horizon temporel, l'Allemagne aura une pénurie de 210 000 travailleurs dans les disciplines des mathématiques, de l'informatique, des sciences naturelles et de la technologie. Vous me direz, quid de l'Afrique? Le gap est encore plus important. En Afrique, les capacités scientifiques et technologiques sont le chaînon manquant dans le développement et la transformation structurelle de l'économie. C'est ça le constat. Comment parviendrons-nous à rattraper et à renforcer ces capacités en Afrique? Aujourd'hui, les diplômés africains ayant des compétences de niveau secondaire et supérieur ont généralement des formations en sciences humaines et en sciences sociales. Et la proportion de ceux ayant étudié les sciences, la technologie, l'ingénierie et les mathématiques est inférieure à 25% en moyenne. En outre, les femmes sont sous-représentées dans les catégories et les professions qui touchent aux sciences et à la technologie. Mesdames et messieurs, il nous faut inverser cette tendance en dotant la nouvelle génération de jeunes Africains talentueux et ambitieux des compétences et connaissances modernes nécessaires pour concevoir et appliquer des solutions africaines aux problèmes de l'Afrique. Beaucoup de nos pays l'ont compris et ont aujourd'hui défini leur politique STI, dont un des axes stratégiques est la formation en STEM. L'objectif est d'éduquer les élèves, d'éduquer les étudiants dans 4 disciplines spécifiques, la science, la technologie, l'ingénierie et les mathématiques, selon une approche interdisciplinaire et appliquée. Il ne s'agit plus d'enseigner des contenus scientifiques pour permettre aux apprenants de réussir des examens, mais de leur donner le pouvoir de prendre des décisions dans leur vie. Il s'agit d'encourager les enseignants à utiliser des stratégies d'enseignement qui sont basées sur la démarche d'investigation scientifique. Les STEM doivent intégrer les 4 disciplines dans un paradigme d'apprentissage cohérent basé sur des applications du monde réel. Mais le défi universel de ces politiques reste le financement. En 2014, l'administration américaine a investi 3,1 milliards de dollars dans des programmes fédéraux d'éducation STEM, avec une augmentation de 6,7% par rapport à 2012. Les investissements ont servi à recruter, soutenir les enseignants STEM, soutenir les écoles secondaires STEM et des réseaux STEM d'innovation, mais également appuyer des projets de recherche de pointe pour l'éducation, afin de mieux comprendre les technologies d'apprentissage de la prochaine génération. En Afrique, de nombreuses initiatives sont nées pour soutenir de telles politiques. Permettez-moi d'en citer quelques-unes. D'abord, l'initiative STEM Africa, qui est un programme transatlantique dédié au développement de la science, de la technologie, de l'ingénierie et des mathématiques en Afrique. Sa mission est de fournir aux jeunes et aux enfants en Afrique une opportunité et un environnement propice à la poursuite des carrières riches et enrichissantes en STEM, en technologie, en génie et en mathématiques. L'initiative STEM Africa soutient des jeunes scientifiques et fait avancer des réseaux de recherche associés à des institutions en Afrique. Deuxième initiative, IBM Digital Nation Africa, d'un investissement de 70 millions de dollars pour le développement des compétences informatiques autour du numérique, du cloud et du cognitif. Ce programme offre une plateforme d'apprentissage basée sur le cloud d'IBM qui hébergera des programmes éducatifs gratuits destinés à 25 millions de jeunes Africains durant les 5 prochaines années. IBM Digital Nation Africa fait partie de l'initiative globale d'IBM New Collar qui vise à construire la prochaine génération de compétences techniques essentielles au développement des entreprises. New Collar est le terme utilisé par IBM pour décrire les nouveaux types de carrières qui ne requièrent pas forcément un diplôme classique, mais plutôt des compétences poussées en cybersécurité, data science, intelligence artificielle, cloud et d'autres cursus à haut potentiel. Ce programme qui est piloté à partir des centres régionaux d'IBM en Afrique du Sud, Égypte, Kenya, Maroc et Nigeria, ce programme ambitionne de former 25 millions de personnes en compétences informatiques d'ici 5 ans. Mesdames et messieurs, en septembre 2016, un accord a été signé entre IBM et le ministère de l'Éducation nationale marocain pour le lancement du PITEC dans le Royaume. Le PITEC est un modèle éducatif mondial, innovant, conçu par IBM, qui vise à fournir aux étudiants une voie claire du lycée vers l'enseignement supérieur, puis vers l'emploi, tout en réduisant l'écart entre les compétences des lauréats et les besoins du marché de l'emploi. IBM collabore également avec des centaines de start-up à travers l'Afrique autour de ces plateformes cloud et cognitives. Autre initiative, c'est le programme FIRST. C'est For Inspiration and Recognition of Science and Technology. Mission pour favoriser l'inspiration et la reconnaissance des sciences et de la technologie, qui entend inspirer les jeunes générations à devenir des leaders en matière de sciences et technologies, en les impliquant dans des programmes fascinants assistés par des mentors. Ces programmes incluent les domaines des STEM et ont pour but de stimuler l'innovation et les compétences personnelles comme la confiance en soi, la communication et le leadership. Caterpillar est le principal sponsor de ce programme. Le dernier programme que je vais citer est le PACET. Je pense que le chef de l'État en a parlé ce matin. PASET for Partnership for Applied Science, Engineering and Technology. Cette initiative est née en Afrique. Elle est portée par 3 pays africains, que sont le Sénégal, l'Éthiopie et le Rwanda. Ce programme a l'ambition de doubler le nombre de diplômés de l'enseignement supérieur dans les STEM et de manière plus spécifique au niveau doctorat de former 10 000 PhD sur les 10 prochaines années. Je pense que ce programme repose sur un fonds qui est un fonds pour des bourses doctorales, mais pas seulement, un fonds également pour l'innovation et pour la recherche. L'objectif principal de ce programme, c'est vraiment de pouvoir renforcer l'environnement de recherche ici en Afrique, en partenariat avec des pays que sont la Chine, la Corée, le Brésil, donc qui sont vraiment des pays émergents et en partenariat avec la Banque mondiale, qui est une banque multilatérale. Pourquoi j'ai parlé de toutes ces initiatives? J'ai parlé de toutes ces initiatives parce que aucun pays seul n'arrivera à régler le problème de ses compétences et de ses capacités scientifiques. Il nous faudra aller largement vers une collaboration. Mesdames et messieurs, l'Afrique compte près de 200 millions de jeunes entre 15 et 24 ans. J'ai entendu ce matin 700 000. Je dis entre 15 et 24 ans, 200 millions. D'ici 2040, la plus grande population active au monde, d'1 milliard d'individus, selon le rapport State of Education in Africa 2015. Dans les 10 prochaines années, 11 millions de jeunes Africains devraient faire leur entrée sur le marché du travail. Ce dividende démographique, comme on l'appelle, est également une bombe pour nos pays. C'est une occasion formidable pour l'Afrique de constituer un capital humain précieux qui sera le moteur de la transformation économique de notre continent. Pour ce faire, il nous faut saisir toutes ces opportunités pour corriger les déséquilibres séculaires qui existent dans nos systèmes éducatifs, rattraper le retard dans le développement des capacités scientifiques et technologiques sur le continent et accompagner la croissance du continent africain. Merci donc à l'ADEA et aux organisateurs de ce forum de nous offrir cette plateforme pour échanger nos expériences et appeler à l'action. Je voudrais juste dire que voilà les mots introductifs. Je ne parlerai pas de l'expérience sénégalaise parce que je pense que ce n'est pas le but du jeu. Aujourd'hui, c'est l'Afrique qui est concernée et nous appelons à l'action toute l'Afrique. Je vous remercie.
Thank you very much, Professor Diallo. Thank you for reminding us of the challenges of a changing global workforce and the importance of technological and scientific skills in that revolution, and for sharing examples of innovation. It's this theme of innovation that we are hoping to continue in our discussion today, and also reminding us of the importance of collaboration. So the first question that I would like to pose to all of the panelists is what are 1 or 2 innovations, trends, approaches, or things that you feel will be transformative in advancing higher education and STEM? And Mr. Ehidli, could I start with you, please?
OK. Merci, Madame la Présidente de séance. Le professeur Diallo nous a facilité la tâche en définissant les STEM, en précisant les avantages et le bien fondé, et de se focaliser sur ces STEM pour espérer la transformation et la revitalisation par des innovations. Le professeur Diallo a fait un survol des différentes initiatives, et ce qui fait appel à une synergie des États pour pouvoir financer leur système d'enseignement supérieur. Mais la transformation et la revitalisation de l'Afrique par des innovations, qui ne peut provenir que des STEM, comment acquérir les ressources humaines de qualité pour les innovations nécessaires? Là, c'est le problème de financement qui se pose. Et si nous regardons l'agenda 2063, une recommandation majeure, c'est la mobilisation des ressources domestiques. Et le président de la Banque africaine de développement a fait ce rappel ce matin dans son discours. Et dans ce domaine-là, il y a un certain nombre d'initiatives innovantes qui sont en cours et qui devraient être encouragées. Le professeur Diallo vient de parler du PASSET. Il existe également actuellement la bourse de mobilité de la CEDEAO, qu'on appelle ENAMS, ECOWAS Nami Azikiwe Mobility Scheme. Il y a également les centres d'excellence de la Banque mondiale. La phase 1 se déroule en Afrique de l'Ouest et en Afrique centrale, et la phase 2 se déroule en Afrique de l'Est et en Afrique septentrionale. C'est un projet de 4 ans. Mais ce qui est intéressant dans tous ces projets qui sont en cours, c'est qu'ils ont un point commun. Le professeur Diallo l'a dit, les objectifs sont les mêmes. Augmenter le nombre de STEM, de personnes ressources, ayant des capacités en sciences, en technologie, en ingénierie et en mathématiques. Mais aussi, ce qui est innovant, c'est le mode de financement. Toutes ces initiatives appellent une certaine synergie au niveau des gouvernements ou même au niveau des communautés économiques régionales. Par exemple, la bourse de mobilité Nami Azikiwe, qui est financée par la CEDEAO, mais la CEDEAO, c'est nous tous. Vous avez également PASSET, PASSET qui est l'initiative du Sénégal, du Rwanda, de l'Éthiopie, et certains pays sont déjà prêts à rejoindre aussi le PASSET. Je crois qu'il y a la Côte d'Ivoire, il y a le Nigeria, il y a le Kenya, il y a l'Afrique du Sud, et la Tanzanie, qui sont prêts à adhérer aussi au dispositif. Je crois que ça, c'est des initiatives qui sont vraiment recommandables. Et par rapport au centre d'excellence de la Banque mondiale, là aussi, c'est une initiative innovante dans la mesure où ce n'est pas un cadeau de la Banque mondiale, mais c'est un prêt que la Banque mondiale fait aux pays qui y sont engagés, et le pays, au lieu que cet argent tombe dans le fond, le trou sans fond des caisses de l'État, l'argent va directement dans le centre. De sorte que cet argent est utilisé pour développer le centre. Et donc, ce que le professeur Diallo vient de dire, les objectifs et le financement sont vraiment des choses innovantes qu'il faut encourager. Et par rapport au centre d'excellence de la Banque mondiale, nous avons fait des statistiques parce que le projet est pratiquement à mi-parcours. Et cette statistique concerne le taux d'inscription dans les STEM, le taux d'inscription des filles, les activités de recherche en termes de production de publications, les activités de recherche en termes de recherche de fonds supplémentaires pour assurer la durabilité du projet à la fin du financement, également des échanges d'étudiants et le taux des étudiants stagiaires et l'accréditation des formations qui y sont dispensées. Et vous comprenez donc que tous ces résultats sont vraiment positifs et le projet ayant pour but de produire un certain nombre de masters et de PhD, nous sommes sur la bonne voie. Et c'est j'allais dire, cette idée d'amener les centres à rechercher des fonds est quelque chose de très important parce que bien souvent, les projets ne vivent que le temps du financement et après le financement, le projet disparaît. Mais là, sur les 8 STEM qui ont fait l'objet de cette étude, il y a 5 qui ont des capacités de mobilisation de fonds extérieurs et qui nous laissent espérer qu'à la fin du projet, ils vont pouvoir continuer le projet. Mais en dehors de ces initiatives, il existe aussi des initiatives au niveau des pays qui méritent d'être partagées. En 2014, l'Association des universités africaines a organisé, en collaboration avec l'UNESCO, une conférence internationale à Lomé pour parler des modèles innovants de financement de l'enseignement supérieur. Et les travaux de cette conférence ont fait l'objet d'un livre qui se trouve aujourd'hui dans le stand du Working Group of Higher Education de l'ADEA. Et au cours de cette conférence, nous avons noté par exemple les expériences du Ghana à travers Ghana Education Trust Fund, où 2,5% de toutes les TVA sont prélevés, mis dans une caisse pour s'occuper de l'éducation. Et donc, quand vous allez au Ghana, personne ne se plaint qu'il n'y a pas d'infrastructure, il n'y a pas d'équipement. Cet argent est là pour s'occuper de l'enseignement supérieur. En plus...
Thank you, Mr.
Okay.
Could I pause you there? Because I know
Il y a
we'll
aussi
come
le
back to you for the
Nigeria,
next question.
le Kenya, l'Afrique du Sud et le Sénégal qui a le contrat de performance qui court aussi. Tout ceci représente des histoires à succès qu'il faut aussi consulter. Merci parce que le temps est limité.
Thank you. And we'll have a chance to come back when we talk about the next question. Mr. Hunkpotata, could I call on you now, please?
Merci beaucoup. Et je remercie d'abord tout le panel et Madame Kay. Et je me retrouve dans un panel où je suis obligé de parler de l'enseignement supérieur alors que je suis dans le domaine de l'éducation de base. Mais ce que je vais dire, c'est que nous ne pouvons pas développer l'enseignement supérieur sans une fondation de base. Si l'éducation de base est ratée, nous allons promouvoir tout ce qu'on veut. Nous allons mettre des milliards dans l'enseignement, nous n'allons pas aboutir à nos objectifs. Pour cela, je pense qu'il faut une synergie entre les différents ordres d'enseignement. Nous ne pouvons plus déconnecter l'enseignement de base de l'enseignement supérieur. Si nous voulons former des jeunes mathématiciens qui pourront, à la fin, produire des ordinateurs ou des tablettes, nous devons commencer ça dès le primaire. Et je connais des pays où, déjà au primaire, un enfant de CP, deuxième année ou bien CM2, est déjà très performant en mathématiques, ou quand tu le mets au niveau secondaire, on dirait qu'il est en option mathématique à l'université. Donc nous devons repenser l'éducation dans tout son ensemble, au point où je suis vraiment content du thème de la triennale, où on parle de revitaliser l'éducation. Il faut revitaliser l'éducation parce que l'éducation, c'est un tout. Tous les acteurs de l'éducation doivent se serrer la main, que ce soit le public, le privé, les gouvernants, l'employeur, qui doivent employer ces jeunes qui sortent après. Nous ne devons pas former pour former, on doit former les jeunes pour servir demain. Parce qu'on va continuer à former les jeunes qui seront sur le marché et en réalité ils ne serviront à rien. Donc je pense qu'en dehors des questions de financement de l'éducation, il faut repenser le système même. Nous avons des innovations, par exemple, les bourses d'excellence, ou bien les bourses d'excellence de l'UEMOA, ou je ne sais pas. Mais si ces bourses d'excellence sont fondées sur une partie en quelque sorte de la population scolaire, je parle avec 2% de la population universitaire, ça ne sert à rien. Puisque déjà, quand les élèves rentrent dans le primaire, après c'est 40% le supérieur. Donc tout ce qui est dans cette vase où on ne sait pas ce qu'ils font, en réalité on les a perdus. Soit ils font une formation professionnelle, soit ils seront une perte pour la société. Donc je pense que nous devons repenser l'éducation, nous devons aller vers les réformes qui sont couronnées de succès, parce qu'il y a des pays où on peut citer en exemple la Chine, l'Inde, la Thaïlande, qui ont des exemples d'éducation qu'ils ont mis en place pour aller vers une éducation scientifique, les STEM, parce qu'il ne faut pas aussi qu'on pense qu'on va former des gens en les déconnectant de la réalité africaine. Donc il faut former les jeunes en tenant compte de nos réalités et de ce que nous souhaitons que l'Afrique sera demain.
Professor Kane.
Thank you, moderator. And the speakers ahead of me, I would like to support Professor Yalo. What she has said is correct. And what the speakers ahead of me have said is correct. But I want to widen that perspective a bit because of my experience, having been in government, trying to achieve what the ministers and His Excellency in the morning complained about. I want to pose to you a question. I don't think we can develop education alone without developing the other sectors of the economy. Please go and reconsider that. I am challenging us in education. We need to remember that a government functions as a body. So if the leg is sick, you cannot make the hand healthy. It won't work. So we need to think higher sometimes than our pipe of education. I'll give you the reasons. I have experience in Kenya. You have heard I was secretary in charge of higher education and science. We've made progress not only in Kenya but in Africa. We must remember that. We made progress in higher education. Like Kenya now, we have almost 600,000 students in the universities. We have 70 universities. Only 10 years ago, there were only 7. Even TVET has grown. We made progress. I know the other countries have done the same. But I want to say what the minister from Egypt says. I personally am convinced we will not change the way we are going. We must rethink. Our universities will not deliver. I've been secretary, I've tried to change universities. They are too rigid, they are like on the wrong track. So I'm going to make a proposal to us, African Union, to ADEA, to Association of African Universities, to consider seriously so that we depart from the path we have. Why do I say that? I want to tell you, I listened to Korea upstairs the other day, and we've forgotten how those countries got where they are. Their TVET is good not because of today. We have to ask ourselves, what did Korea do in the 70s that we didn't do? It was not TVET. Please listen to me carefully. Korea changed because of one person who studied diaspora dynamics at Harvard. When he went back to Korea, he set up a university called KAIST. He became the first vice chancellor. The Minister of Education rejected him, and he was taken over by the Minister for Industry. So that university, you read it, was set up in the Ministry of Industry when Korea had universities in the Ministry of Education. So that university, Minister for Industry, the Minister for Finance, why did they receive this young man at the age of 28? Because he was the only one who told the president, I want to show you how to grow wealth. When all universities were saying there is no funding, give us more money for us to produce, he said, you don't need more money. We have enough money. I'll lead you how to grow that. The rest is history. That is why my mobile phone from Korea, thanks to KAIST, the LG fridges, thanks to KAIST. When the economy had grown, they had the money to transform education. That's why their TVET is strong. So I challenge you. I make my proposal. Can we in Africa set up a university like KAIST? It doesn't cost a lot of money. It will cost less than $100 million to set such a university. This university should not be national. It should not even be regional. It should be international. Because you need the best brain from all over the world. And it should not be manned by somebody like me who is spoiled with our local universities. We need diaspora to man that university. So we can get this diaspora back. And that university should have a different agenda from the Pan-African University, which I was part of setting up. See, Pan-African University is producing graduates for what? Investment in education must be strategic. That means we must know what we want to deliver. And I want to propose we deliver the following. We must manipulate knowledge. To do that, we need communication, electronic and computers. Not the knowledge, the ability to make anything that is driven by those. That's what drives knowledge. And in that process, we manage knowledge, we can leapfrog to join the others. So we need a university that will produce PhDs. My dear sister, my colleagues, numbers of PhDs won't help us. Even 10 PhDs that are properly schooled to transform our economy are enough. Than saying we'll produce 1,000 PhDs. They'll be just like the ones we produce in Kenya. And we have one bad mistake. When we produce PhD, it's meant to be a lecturer. This is wrong. We should get PhD who are farmers to go and transform farming and put knowledge. Because knowledge is everything. I just finished by giving one example why knowledge is important, and we need those focused PhDs in this specialized university. I use Senegal and Kenya. These are two countries where our fish is being stolen. For Senegal, I don't want to name the country, I have no permission, but I've seen it on video. They come and fish outside Senegal, they pack the fish there, they lab it, made it there, and deliver to Dakar. We have recently that in Kenya now. We are importing fish, but it's just coming off the coast of Kenya because they're using powerful satellites to see where the fish are. They go to collect instead of fishing because of knowledge. Now that's what Africa needs. Once we've gotten that, education will come in. We do not have the funds like Korea to transform all this wishful thinking, ECD and so on. Not everybody will be an innovator. We'll be very lucky if we get 10% of our population to be good innovators. That's very great. Not everybody will be an entrepreneur. In fact, only 1 in 10 can be successful entrepreneurs. So let's not believe that it's a panacea solution. Put entrepreneurship in school, put it everywhere, put innovation. No. Let's create this specialized thinking to open up the entire economy. When we have done that, we shall have the resources to build education. This is one of the two proposals I had to suggest. If there will be time, I'll say the second. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Ochanda.
Thank you. I think I want to agree with most of what the panelists have said. I think it's very important for us to change our approach to teaching and learning, what we are teaching about STEM, how we are teaching STEM, and how our students are learning STEM. Can we make it more interactive as opposed to just going to, lecture theaters and sometimes handing down, lecture notes and going? Can we equip our, laboratories and make the students have an interesting learning environment where they're interacting with, technology, and that is new technology? Can we also build the skills of our lecturers so that the lecturers can get the opportunities to acquire new skills in other, from more developed and advanced, countries and universities? That way, if we bring back that knowledge, I think we'll improve on, higher education. And also, we need to equip our students with information and knowledge on the importance of STEM to start with. What is the relevance of STEM in the lives of our students? How important is STEM in developing our countries? Can they relate STEM, what they're learning in the classroom, in the lecture halls, can they relate it to their day-to-day lives? Can they relate it to the development of the country? When you talk to the students about Africa's aspirations, what does it say to them? Is it meaningful? Can they relate that physics or the mathematics, the actual sciences that they are learning, the technology, the engineering that they are learning, can they relate it to those, the day-to-day lives? That's really what, what we need to be doing. And that, of course, needs to be done also through mentorship. We need to start mentoring our students, our young kids at a very early age, in their educational educational endeavors. And the last thing that I would say is the importance of that partnership. We need a very strategic approach to the mentorship programs that we're having for our young people, especially when we are targeting their acquisition of STEM and the relevant skills. One of the things that we must do, the same institutions of higher learning must be involved in that mentorship because they are key stakeholders. They are the ones that are suffering from the low enrollment of students in STEM. We need to improve that. We need to engage them. They also need to tell us what exactly they need. And in that process, we'll be able to also tell them that, yes, this is what you're doing wrong, and you need to improve it. Because if we don't do that, it's business as usual. They're very comfortable with what they're doing, as Professor has said, and other speakers had said earlier on. The importance of the private sector. We need to link whatever we are doing. We have to have partnership with the private sector. The industries, these are the employers. These are the people who are dealing, in the STEM environment. They do understand their needs. Can we link them so that they're key partners and they'll also be able to provide the employment opportunities for the young people who are coming from these institutions? At the same time, they'll be able to support in mobilizing resources to ensure that these same institutions have the relevant, material and that is needed for training. And of course, you cannot forget about the students themselves. They are consumers of whatever is being produced. Can we get their contribution also? What is more relevant? The student today is not like the student of 20 years ago, 15 years ago. The student of today is very, very, technology savvy, is doing research on a daily basis through social media. Can we also get to know what they're doing? And lastly, I think we need to get the parents also involved for them to understand that, yes, things have changed, and so they can support whatever institutions are offering. And I think with that, I can stop there. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And Ms. Hooker?
Thank you. Thank you very much, Madam Chair, Kim, fellow panelists, excellence Ministers of Education and members of the Forum. It is a pleasure to be part of this panel and part of the discussion. And like some of my fellow panelists, I felt at first that perhaps maybe I'm slightly out of place in relation to higher education and STEM. I actually came for another forum, and my apologies to everyone, flights and so on didn't quite make it. But it was looking at ICT and STEM, promoting ICT, mathematics and STEM, and it was looking at it in terms of our program at secondary level. So one colleague was talking primary level, and at the same time the connection between STEM at all system levels. I also think that, agree with, as our colleague said, Professor Diallo, and this has been mentioned on a few occasions throughout the proceedings today, when she talked about the fact that the research by the African Capacity Building Foundation report in 2016 that identified that 80% of students take arts and humanities at third level. And I had also identified a shortfall of some 5 million in the next, by 2030 and so on, 5 million engineers and scientists, etc. And my question would be, why? Why is there so little take-up of STEM? And where actually does the problem begin? And one of the issues, as our colleague said, in terms of primary education, also the president, when he talked about young children at preschool having the capacity for scientific understanding and data analysis, why is it that we are so poor at promoting this science and technology education and so on at preschool, primary and secondary levels, so that you have better take-up at third level? And for this, I think that I would like to refer to some of the aspects in the concept note for our session around the research of Professor Akeampong in terms of science and technology performance of students at secondary level. And I think one of the interesting things, colleagues and members of the forum, is that we all know it. Students are underperforming in Africa by regional and international standards, yes. But I think that there's something else in the report that's of more interest to us in this discussion in relation to trends. And that is the fact that actually in areas, students performed well in STEM. They performed in relation to factual knowledge in science and mathematics, and also in relation to access, equity. African students are getting more access to basic understanding of mathematics and science. There was another aspect, and this would be my focus in relation to teaching and teachers. Am I running out? Okay, so, and in relation to teachers and teaching is the fact that we talk about systems not working, and we talk about the amount of capacity building that has to be done. But an interesting aspect is that teachers actually do have capacity to teach STEM at higher levels and higher order thinking. In fact, part of Professor Akeampong's research was that if you do go and you speak to teachers at secondary level and so on, they know about 21st century skills. They know about all of the different strategies that you can use. And so one of the issues is, why don't teachers use it then? And one of the issues in relation to higher education and teachers, and I think some of the issues that have come up in this discussion, is that in fact, higher education institutions prepare teachers pretty well for teaching STEM in theory. And here is actually perhaps where there is a gap in relation to some of the comparisons we're making between East and West, and how we prepare teachers to actually develop these higher order skills and so on. One of the, I thought also, Monsieur le Président, is it? he brought up something very interesting about the theory aspect when he compared actually education to areas like agriculture and how students, when they come out, they deal with real problems, they actually engage in real problems. So why is it that we cannot do this in the education sector? And one of my replies would be, colleagues, and I see there's 3 minutes, is it that as teachers we do not engage in problem solving? Is it that as teachers we do not have the opportunity to actually apply the theory in practice? I think that we are all problem solvers, but I think that part of the issue is the isolation of teaching and learning. And when you mentioned, for example, Korea and East and West, one of the issues there, and this is why I'm wondering, is this a question when we talk about reconceptualizing education and a revolution in education? Is it a question, sorry? Microphone. Here. Speak on the mic. Oh, you can't hear the translation. Okay. Oh, here. Thank you. All right. Anyway, I see a sign. It's 3 minutes up. One of the questions is it a question of because all day we're talking about reconceptualizing, rethinking, reinvesting in education. Is it that actually it is a question of a huge revolution of change, or do we actually have part of the solution looking at us right there in front of us? In the Korean perspective, for example, in relation to teachers and teaching, almost half the day is spent with teachers working in groups, looking at problems and solving them together, and half the rest of the teaching time is actually applying these solutions in practice. So my overall point is, in relation to trends, is and knowledge, is knowledge that we have here in front of us in schools, teachers' tacit knowledge, where they are solving problems every day, where they are looking for solutions every day, but they close the classroom door and we never hear of them. And actually, this is the front between theory and practice. And this is also the opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay. I had one final question, which I'm going to change slightly because I know our time is unfortunately tight today. My question was, what needs to be done to remove barriers to expansion, quality, and relevance of STEM in higher education? But I'm going to challenge us to give a less than 1 minute response and focus on one thing, the most immediate, the most practical, the most important step or action that you would recommend to the audience to take to transform higher education. Less than 1 minute. Professor Diallo.
Je dirais la collaboration. La collaboration au niveau national, la collaboration au niveau régional et la collaboration au niveau international. Ceci nous permettra vraiment d'emprunter des raccourcis qui vont nous permettre de rattraper, parce que nous sommes dans un système de rattrapage. Merci.
OK. Mais hier, nous avons relevé que la sensibilisation au STEM ne se fait pas au niveau des universités, mais depuis la petite enfance. Et donc, quand les réformes se font, il faut déjà que ces réformes soient holistiques. Ne pas couper une portion pour l'enseignement primaire, une portion pour l'enseignement secondaire, une portion pour l'université. Ça doit être des réformes holistiques qui prennent en compte depuis la petite enfance jusqu'à l'université. Les problèmes de l'université, nous les connaissons tous, c'est les solutions qu'on n'a pas, mais disposer par exemple de personnel hautement qualifiés et expérimentés et des structures. Vous allez dans les universités, il n'y a même pas une pipette pour faire des expériences. Vous voulez avoir quel type d'enseignants performants? Voilà les problèmes qui sont là, que nous connaissons tous. C'est une question simplement d'investissement pour pouvoir avoir même les outils minima qu'il faut pour pouvoir enseigner. Cet après-midi, le monsieur de l'UNESCO, il a dit que il faut considérer les intrants pour pouvoir juger ce qui sort. Mais vous n'investissez rien dedans, vous voulez voir quoi à la sortie. C'est ça le problème. Quand on dit qu'on injecte beaucoup d'argent dans l'éducation, les salaires représentent 90 à 95% de ce budget. Il ne reste que 5% pour s'occuper de tous des infrastructures, des équipements et de tout ce qu'il faut pour que l'enseignement marche. Ce n'est même pas seulement l'enseignement supérieur. Et donc le problème est là. Nous les connaissons tous, les problèmes. Mais on a l'impression que nous faisons un peu la politique de l'autruche. Quand ça vient, on cache la tête et puis le problème passe. Merci.
Merci. Moi, je vais juste poser une question. Comment veut-on avoir un système d'enseignement supérieur performant si on a déjà des enfants en bas âge qui n'ont pas les compétences nécessaires en mathématiques, par exemple? C'est par exemple les dispositifs du PASSEC où 60% de nos élèves de primaire, CM2, n'ont même pas les compétences nécessaires pour aller au collège. Et toute cette masse-là, on va les envoyer, on va dire qu'ils vont aller dans le supérieur. Et on va avoir un enseignement supérieur de qualité. Ou bien des étudiants qui vont aller vers les STEM. Je pense qu'il faut qu'on revoie notre système éducatif, c'est de bas âge, comme je l'ai dit dans ma première intervention. Secondo, je pense qu'il faut qu'on ait une politique réelle d'orientation de nos élèves étudiants. Il y a beaucoup d'étudiants, d'élèves, quand ils ont le bac, ils sont là, ils sont perdus. Moi, je vais essayer sciences économiques, moi, je vais essayer les lettres, moi, je vais essayer temps. Et ça, c'est la divagation. Je pense que notre système ne sera pas efficace si on a toujours ce système comme ça. Merci.
Let me talk about STEM. I talked about, my earlier comment was on universities. My colleagues, I've been trying to promote STEM. Kenya is undergoing a curriculum reform for which I was responsible for policy change. And in one meeting with stakeholders, a parent put up his hand and asked me, this STEM you are telling us, I have a child at home who did STEM and has no job. Then I remembered in my own office, I'm a professor of engineering, but I'm also an employer in my office. I have 3 students of engineering who have no jobs. So the parent asked me, when you tell us to put our children in STEM, what are you telling us? So let me make this point. What will make STEM work? It's not supply side. Supply side is important, but we need to address the demand side. Economics says things move better when you pull from demand. So when you create jobs for TVET graduates, you won't even persuade the children to do TVET. Kenya is a very good example. The university, the 600,000 students in the university, only 20% are in STEM. The rest are in humanities and social science. Nobody has forced them. Our TVET, we advertised places for TVET last year with scholarships. We had less applicants than the places. The reason is not because there is lack of institutions. With the Chinese support, we put up hundreds of TVET institutions that are heavily under-enrolled. So the thing that will move TVET is the demand for the graduates. And this is why I said earlier, we are the professors, we are the thinkers, we are the economists. Can we work with the government to support STEM by ensuring the government does the right things to create jobs for STEM? Otherwise, the Kenyans, I'm telling you, who are in there, they are doing business courses, marketing courses, because that's where jobs are. I'm an engineer by background. So somebody said, like Kenya, you have only 2,000 engineers. But I said, I have 3 who are not employed. When you hear the ratio of engineers to population, it's meant for Korea, which is so industrialized. So we must move together with these things. As we create the jobs, we are ready to change education. And this will support STEM. So I would like to recommend that as we focus, I agree with my colleagues very well that mathematics and science must be brought down to ECD. Because my experience with my grandson, who is only 4 years old, he came to me and asked me about the solar system. And I thought he meant because I had a solar panel for the house. Then he told me, no, he's talking about the planets and the sun. And I could only remember 2 planets, Earth and another one. And he had all of them at age 4. And I had trouble answering his questions. That when I went to look in the Kenyan curriculum, when planets are supposed to be taught, it was in 4th grade. This fellow is still in ECD. So that's why I agree that when you bring science and bring mathematics, particularly mathematics, let's not forget, scientifically, when you teach math at an early age, it opens the brain. Sometimes we think too much on literacy. Literacy is good, but to make literacy work, sometimes it's good to teach mathematics, then it opens the brain and makes them understand languages and reading better. So that I support. But having said that, for purposes of TVET, my experience is that let's open the market end. And we are the ones, because we are government advisors at all levels. So if we do that, we'll pull TVET. It will become exciting. The children will come. Thank you.
Alice, if I could move, Alice, if I could leave yours for when you introduce the video, because I don't want to lose that opportunity, but we are running out of time. And Mary, just 1 minute, your one practical action that you would suggest as the next step.
Thanks. Is that right? Oh, it's because I just, sorry. I was hearing myself. Thank you very much, Madam Chair Kim, and it's 1 minute. One practical action. Thank you very much. I think that in terms of practical actions, and also in relation to the focus from which I'm coming, in relation to teachers and to teaching, and for a long time we have looked at the whole issue of learners and learning for the 21st century. And it is good to see the agenda of teachers and teaching coming back. It was almost as if we couldn't speak about it, but I realize I have 1 minute and I need to speak about the action. But all day while I've been here, I've been hearing about different initiatives. Professor Diallo talked about various initiatives. We have had colleagues talking, and the ministers talking about initiatives in education or pilots and so on. I'm thinking about Mr. Ahmed, who is the Minister of Education in Egypt, and a very interesting program of not ICT competencies, but a program that is focused on ICT and changing teachers' behaviors in the classroom. And if I would talk about one definite action to focus on, it is how do we link research and development at higher education with what is happening at the center stage of teacher practice in the classroom. And I say this in terms of the fact that very often research can be very technical in relation to inputs, in relation to learner outputs and outcomes, but we never really focus on what is happening and what is changing in the processes of the classroom. And even small successes that are based on how teachers are problem solving within the affordances of their teaching context. What are the opportunities? What are the constraints? And how can these small successes inform not only practice, but go right up the value chain to inform further research and to inform policy? I think very often we tend, it's not even very often, we tend to overlook the processes, we tend to overlook the voices of the teachers as well as the learners, as problem solvers. And we were hearing all today about knowledge and the tacit knowledge, and that wonderful story from the representative from Gambia, or the president's representative, who talked about the boatman and the philosopher. I'm being a little bit, challenging here. As a teacher and speaking to high academia, we often have that rift, is it not true? And I see the time is up, between the plateaus of academic theory and the swampy lowlands of, or the messiness of classroom practice, and how we can bring those two together. Thank you.
Thank you. Alice, I have a feeling that the video is going to encompass your practical action or recommendation, but if you could very briefly introduce the video and please share your practical action.
Thank you very much. I think we all know that research every now keeps on sending a red alert to us that there is very low participation of girls in STEM. As we talk about STEM, there's a group that is being left behind, and this morning we were told that even a bird cannot fly with one wing, and therefore we need to bring both wings together to enable the bird to fly. It's very important for us to mentor students from a very early age at all the levels, but I think the most important levels are, right from primary and secondary, where you acquire skills. It's very, very important to have the mentorship, relevant mentorship that actually exposes the students to, the importance of science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, but also the mentorship that, resonates with the day-to-day lives of the students and the role that STEM plays in their lives. It's also important as we work through the mentorship that we also touch on those very critical but sometimes ignored skills that are needed by each and every one of us, and particularly students in their early age. And I do believe that governments will not keep on providing jobs for people, and should enable the students to actually create jobs. If nurtured properly, mentored properly, they create jobs. The video that you're going to watch shows a strategic and innovative approach that UNESCO and its partners in Kenya have come up with to mentor girls in secondary schools in STEM. We are getting very good results, and the students and the teachers are very positive toward what we are doing. And we do believe that very soon the dismal performance population in STEM courses in the universities, as Professor Kani has said, 22% will definitely go up. So I do introduce the STEM video that talks about, that will expose you to the experiences of the students, the teachers who have been through
Toute
that
chose a une fin.
STEM and
Et
mentorship. STEM
découvrez les vœux de Vidia en mars.
partners.
Ne manquez pas le...
So welcome to watch the video.
Thank you.
When I first heard about the STEM program, I was excited. The STEM program is very important in my school because all along we have been struggling to improve the attitude of students in mathematics and sciences.
When I first heard about the STEM program, I thought it was something that was promoting the sciences and mathematics in the girl child education in Kenya, because most of the girls, they think it is difficult. And so I thought this was one of the ways that we are going to help them to love the subjects.
Back in the day, science was a complex bit for girls because because they could not understand the relationship between the working environment and the syllabus they are covering in class. There were two disconnect points.
A problem with girls taking sciences, because I think the society, the way it is, it's sciences are seen as a man's field. In UNESCO, we have this slogan that science needs women and women need science. We believe that the involvement of women in sciences would actually even increase, facilitate the country's development.
2015, 4 students attended a scientific camp of excellence at Kisumu Girls.
Okay, the blood cells. Which one can you use?
When the girls came back, they requested the school administration to be allowed to start a club with the aim of mentoring girls to take up sciences. And that's how we started the club, currently serving 46 students drawn from all the classes. Quite a number of students have now started consulting with teachers for physics, mathematics, biology, and chemistry, and consequently, there is remarkable improvement in their performance.
My favorite subject is mathematics because I have a passion for it. It motivates me to work passionately for it and think critically, because I know as a woman, I'm going to deal with critical issues in life.
I am very determined to pursue a science-related course because science is life. My teacher always tells me that if you do what you love, you do it your best. So if you love science, then you can do it just as well as the boy child can do.
Personally, I have an interest in a career that is based on the sciences, so that is why it's popular to me.
If girls take the initiative to do the subjects, it will actually reduce the gap between the boys doing the STEM subjects and the girls.
When you change your mind, then you can do it, and that's the only thing that the girl child needs to know to be able to pursue a science-related course.
The changes I've seen in the students since taking up the program is more awareness of the need to be excellent in these subjects. The girls initially thought it was just a subject like any other, but now we expose them to women who have succeeded, women who are engineers, and they feel they are capable.
The main idea behind the STEM mentorship camps is actually to have women role models in these fields. These same women scientists and engineers are supposed to show the students the importance of their professions to the country's economic development.
Being a mentor in the STEM program involves exposing the girls to what it takes to go through such programs at the university, and most importantly, demystifying what STEM is all about.
We included the life skills and survival techniques components in the mentorship program. Why? Because it's not just reading. I mean, these are human beings, issues to deal with. Some of them don't even know how to study. They're teenagers. And so a lot of things that they're dealing with also need to be addressed. The way the program is structured and what we're doing, we were able to convince the Ministry of Education that this is a good program, to the extent that, the PS say this is a very important program, a very good initiative, from UNESCO, and they went to the point of having a budget for it, which wasn't there before.
How does your ministry, and specifically your department, feel about this UNESCO initiative?
Our feeling as a ministry, and more specifically as the Department of Science and Technology, is that we encourage UNESCO to strengthen this initiative, to scale it up, and to include more counties, more schools, and more girls.
University also came on board because of being the Commission for Science, Technology and Innovation in the country. It is in their interest that they support a program that inspires girls.
Our role in this program is we are on it for a long haul. If you concentrate only on one gender, it might be counterproductive. But it is something I would want to see that STEM program is encouraged all along. Specifically, this country, if it has to grow, we have to concentrate on science, technology, and innovation. Our Vision 2030 recognizes science, technology, innovation to be the bedrock of our development.
We have just introduced a tool to monitor the impact of the STEM program in the uptake of the STEM by the girls. So until that tool is operationalized, that's the only time we'll be able to see whether it has had an impact.
My recommendation is to have more of the mentorship programs for the students, and also the in-service trainings for the teachers, especially the science teachers, because they're the ones who are handling the science subjects in school, and that will enable them to amalgamate the content in class and the technology bit in the working environment.
The future of the STEM program in school is very promising.
This program, I believe, will go far in assisting the students, and I'm seeing a situation that it will now become part and parcel of the strategies that we use to improve performance of the students.
Our activities are being supported fully, and the students are excited about the program. That has given us a soft ground to make the program grow.
To us as Nakosti, it would be very ideal that we are building a society as part of the promotion of science which is inclusive.
You don't want a situation where you look at the employment statistics and it's more just skewed towards the males. We want a situation where both gender are there and they're bringing in what they're good at.
I feel that with this program, the girls are empowered, they are focused, they know what they want, they have identified the careers that tie up with this program. I think the girls will succeed.
I feel very much empowered to take up science subjects.
Having attended the STEM program, I'm very much empowered to go into the science-related course.
I really feel empowered because even my fellow students, I do encourage them, I do tell them that if you do these sciences, they will really help you, and I can see a change.
My personal wishes for girls that they study, focus, they want to go in the university. They have to go beyond just their secondary school level. They have to be achievers, and so they must study to pass. And then they have to have a goal. The goal is, what do I want to be? Break the ceiling. Be the engineer that I can be the scientist that I can be anything that I want to be. Let the sky not be the limit. Break that ceiling.
When I grow older, I would like to pursue computer science.
I want to pursue electrical engineering.
I want to become a control surveyor.
I want to be an electrical engineer. I want to be a statistician.
I want to be a software engineer.
I would like to be a biomedical engineer.
I want to be a financial engineer.
I would like to be an aeronautical engineer.
I would like to thank very much all of our panelists for contributing to this session and talking about such an important subject such as higher education and STEM. I know that there's been many concrete, innovative, and interesting ideas that have been put forward, and I hope that everyone in the audience, if you have more questions, please feel free to follow up with the panelists and keynote speaker directly. Thank you.